Hello students, I, Ms. Pooja Kalange, Assistant Professor IISMR MCA, welcome you back to this video lecture for chapter number 3. So let's start for today. Today, we will be covering the important point of our big data warehouse system requirements and hybrid architecture. So before we move on, we need to understand what are the big data solutions. If you remember in our previous video, we have seen the big data solutions. If you have seen that, big data solutions are completely different from the traditional data management or analytics solution. So we need to have a combination of technology which will be capable of what? So let's see what is the first point. It is managing of scaling the wide variety of data types covering both the types of scenarios, that is data at rest and data in motion. Okay. Second thing is it should be able to manage the distributed data across thousands of processors. In many situations that the data clusters and grids, they are geographically distributed. So here we are addressing some issues which come across while designing the hybrid architectures. Also, we need to integrate any data source whose structure is not previously unknown. Okay. Also with that, we need to have an ability to manage and execute workflows that work across with the distributed environment having thousands of nodes. Also, there should be an ability to provide built-in semantics to handle the trade-offs between consistency, availability, and high partition tolerance. Also, the another point, it should have the ability to support extreme mixed workloads like depth queries as well as the breadth queries, ranging from the ad hoc queries to strategic analysis while loading the data in batch and streaming fashion. So these are some major issues we come across while addressing the hybrid system architectures. So if these requirements are big for data solutions, so do we have such an architecture which addresses all of these requirements? Do we have some solution? So yes, generally speaking, there are two types of application architecture approaches which are implemented in big data solutions. So the first is extended RDBMS architecture, which is extending the enterprise dataware architecture to manage the volume of data, and the hybrid architecture employing MapReduce or the Hadoop architectures. So which will have the data platform which will have the ability to scale across a variety of data types. So if you see the current view of any product enhancement, there is almost a major part of the relational database management system where they have the interesting pattern of the RDBMS products, okay, and which almost feature the massively parallel processes. They have the ability of columnar storage, they have the ability of in database analytics. But now this raises a set of many interesting questions is how will big data impact the enterprise data warehouse and BI investments? So will we be able to replace that or not? So if not, then how will these two technologies combine together with the current data management architectures? So the intent of these two technologies is different. Their strengths are also different, but they will obviously provide a holistic platform to leverage the big data warehouse. So how can we do this? Okay, so there are two approaches, okay, where we can have this scenario being done. Okay, so these are the architecture patterns which involve the Hadoop and RDBMS. Now you just consider a scenario that when 50 GB of data can be said to be big data if the structure is too complex for a normal RDBMS to handle. So in that context, what should we say to a small data? So small data are nothing but the homogeneous data structures. Okay, like example, we have the structured data, then we have the strings, then we have the dates, then we have the times, then we have all of the data which is used to feed the traditional data warehouse. So if you theoretically speak that it is a large content or collection of small data which eventually becomes the large data. So in this any enterprise database management, you will see a combination of these two data sources. Okay, so the first approach here will be we have two approaches in this case. The first approach we will have Hadoop, which will be as a data ingestion, and data processing platform will be the RDBMS. Okay, just a minute, I'll just use the pointer here. Yes, okay, this is visible, right? And the second approach which we'll be using will be a combination of RDBMS as well as Hadoop. So here you can just remember that Hadoop is used primarily as a data ingestion mechanism at the staging area. In contrast, the relational part will be, you can say, for the relational management system. Okay, so where we can only keep a certain amount of data using Hadoop as a staging layer. Okay, where we now keep actually all the historical data. Apart from historical data, the main advantage of Hadoop will be the flexibility to ingest or to put in some any type of data and also address the scaling issues. So from Hadoop staging area, then we can move to the data integration tools of RDBMS, and then we can move to the data which is present in the RDBMS. So you can just remember this as Hadoop is primarily used to store and process the big data, whereas RDBMS is used to store and process the small data. So RDBMS will be processing the data sources which are small, and Hadoop will be processing the data sources which are big. And there is one approach using a combinational approach, but that could prove to be more tedious. Okay, so I hope you have understood the architectural patterns which will be involving a combination of Hadoop and RDBMS. Okay, now we will move on to the next point, that is the enterprise data platform ecosystem. Okay, so a true enterprise data platform should able to leverage the two technology stacks, which are the big data warehouse and the enterprise data warehouse. Okay, so together they can exploit the, you can say, many yottabytes or zettabytes of pre-processing of the structured data and the unstructured data as a free form text. Okay, means what? For example, if you consider the customer comments, if you consider their feedback, if you consider their product complaints, or maybe some semi-structured data, like there are some blogs written, or there are some XML streams which are being coming into picture. Okay, so using MapReduce technology, we must be able to deal with the with the unstructured and the semi-structured data, and the RDBMS will help you to handle the structured data analysis. So EW analysis components will be the new attributes of significance, means for example where they will search some relevant words and concepts, and they will use some statistics in developing these aspects. So finally this will help you to combine the new results, will be a combination of the existing facts and the dimensions, which will enrich the analytical capabilities. Okay, so if you see this diagram, this is a hybrid architecture where you can see that the platform contributes to both. It contributes to the data warehousing of the big data as well as to the enterprise data source also, or the enterprise data warehouse also. Okay, so so if you see here, this is a combination. How can a traditional warehouse or a data warehouse map the tools of the Hadoop environment? So previously we have seen architecture where it was a combination of both. So mostly the proprietary open sources are very expensive. Their total cost is also very greater. So we need to have some rigid data structures which will be able to deal with these things. The data structure should be flexible. Then you should have greater speed up for the index lookups. Then you should have full data scans. You should have rich data semantics, or you should have indirect support to the complex data structures. So there are many things involved in this. Okay, so what we will first consider is, in this enterprise data platform ecosystem, we will be having a big data warehouse which will be dealing with Hadoop. This will be the data sources which will be structured, unstructured, semi-structured, internal, external sources. Whereas in contradictory, here we'll have the RDBMS, which are mostly the structured data, ERP, CRM, and all those. Okay. After this, there will be a collaboration between those, which will be contribution of master data elements, enterprise data definitions, knowledge, business rules, business KPIs, and metadata. So there will be interaction done here. But on a contradictory, the objective of the big data warehouse will be discovery and experimentation, analytics, text mining, and data ingestion. So data ingestion we've already seen our previous part, that we're using a combination of Hadoop and RDBMS. Okay, and here there in the enterprise data warehouse, you'll be just using single source of truth for decision support. It could be for governance, it could be for business performance metrics. So this big data warehouse will eventually contribute to some discovered patterns, some new inferred metrics, or some business rules and new dimensional attributes. So therefore, this will be a deep support for iterations, branching operations, for some complex business algorithms, for transaction processing. Okay, so this was, the total of the enterprise data platform ecosystem. Okay, now we will see what is the difference between the RDBMS and the Hadoop characteristics. Okay, so before I move on to the Hadoop and the RDBMS characteristics, I would just like to tell you that there are some interesting capabilities which are present with big data warehouses. Like there is one example called as sandboxes. Okay, where if there are some data visualization components, there are these data visualization components are said to be the sandboxes, and these data analysts, they analyze the sandboxes. Okay, so how they do it, they use the tools like SAS, they use MATLAB, or they use some ad hoc querying and rich data visualization tools like Tableau, ClickView, or Power BI. Also, there is one more big data issue which comes is the low latency. Okay, many use cases or some real time processing data, they have use cases which may be associated to this real time analytics. So that time low latency data processing may arise from the fact that the time, due to the time dimension, you may not process or analyze the data at the very moment. So there could be some low latency of data. Also, there could be a form of contextualizing the data to context the data which is associated to a particular scenario. Next hurdle could be whether you have to sample the data or not to sample the data. So you'll have to use some complex algorithms which will help you in sampling and not sampling the data. Okay. So this was some of the important things which you require to cover during the master data management. So now we move on to the what you can say differences between the RDBMS and Hadoop characteristics. So if you see, the relational databases are mostly proprietary. Okay, means they are fixed, whereas the MapReduce and Hadoop are open source. Relational database is expensive because it goes exponential. MapReduce, these are less expensive. As I told you, in relational databases, the data structures need to be more rigid and more modeled prior. But in MapReduce, you need to have some flexible data structures. Okay. Then we have here in relational databases great speed index lookups, but here we have the full data scans. In relational databases, you need to have rich relational semantics. Here you need to have indirect support to the relational semantics. Here you need to have support for complex data structure. Here you need to have deep support for complex data structures. Then you, as I told you, indirect support to the complex algorithms, iterations, and branching operations. Okay. Here you need to have deep support. It's again the deep support for transaction processing and the no support for transaction processing. So just to sum up, I hope you are clear with how does the enterprise data platform ecosystem work, what are the two architectures which are being proposed for working of this scenario, and what is the difference between the RDBMS and Hadoop characteristics. So I thank you for watching this video. Thank you.